The box score has become a poisonous addiction in the contemporary era of basketball analysis. We have allowed our perception of how a basketball game is truly played to be entirely determined by an 8-second printed sheet of paper with points, rebounds, and assists. In the era of casual observation, spectators would instantly label a player's performance as a failure after seeing a stat line of 8 points and 2 assists. They yell about their intentions. They miss the real masterpiece taking place in front of their eyes and create conspiracy theories about players refusing to pass the ball. We won't be watching box scores today. We will be the game students, where I'm going to examine how the U.S. national team completely destroyed Puerto Rico. The final result of the game was an astounding 91-48. Additionally, we will dissect the court's invisible geometry. We will examine Caitlin Clark's unseen terrible influence and how her simple presence served as a tactical sledgehammer, enabling her teammates to totally destroy the opposition. You do not look at Caitlin Clark's stat line to comprehend the psychological burden she bears. Before the ball is even tipped, you observe the opposition defense and the building's atmosphere.
Look, everybody take your phones out!
No puedo. Saca tú, no puedo. Esto no me deja.
The phones was out! Everybody!
Pay attention to the sound. As she merely steps onto the arena floor, observe the thousands of televisions flashing in the stands. You can feel the excitement. For an exhibition game, this is not typical. This is a generational talent's aura. An opposing coach's entire defensive philosophy changes from playing conventional basketball to implementing a survival strategy when they have to get ready for a player that gets this kind of response. And Puerto Rico made an effort to accomplish just that. After watching the footage, their coaching staff made a crucial, desperate choice. They refused to let Caitlin Clark's 30-point assault to defeat them. They implemented a strict 2-3 zone defense, directing several defenders in the direction of the floor on her side. They viewed her like a radioactive menace as soon as she crossed half court. However, this is the harsh yet lovely reality of facing Team USA. You leave your doors fully open for the remaining assassins in the team when you overcompensate to stop one famous player. Paige Bueckers comes in. The center of the floor turns into a huge, empty void whether you trap Caitlin Clark or stretch your zone 30 feet from the basket to stop her signature three-pointers. Bueckers acted with the cold-blooded precision of a surgeon after realizing this right away. Let's examine the game's official, uncontested data. Bueckers played for 21 minutes. During that period, she scored a team-high 16 points while shooting a scorching 58%, or 7 out of 12 from the field. This was not a coincidence. Caitlin Clark's floor spacing was directly responsible for this. The Puerto Rican defense pushed itself to the breaking point as Clark stepped on the wing. Bueckers took advantage of those rip situations by attacking the hoop and cutting into the mid-range against a defense that was always caught off guard. Boers had a team-high plus-minus of plus 25 at the end. That's what it means to accept what the defense offers. Additionally, what the defense gave her the full lane because she was so afraid of Caitlin Clark. However, the devastation did not end at the boundary. Let's continue on to the paint, where the Puerto Rican defense's tactical sacrifice caused a complete carnage on the glass. Your bigs are drawn away from the basket when you play a zone defense that is stretched out to the logo, which puts your rebounding position at risk. Angel Reed transformed the paint into her own playground at this precise moment. As the internet worked to create tension between these young celebrities, Ree and Clark were discreetly performing a masterclass in free basketball. Take a look at Reese's stats from this match. In just 16 minutes of play, he scored 10 points and pulled down an incredible 13 rebounds. 5 of those 13 rebounds were on the offensive glass, which is the scariest part. 5 extra possessions result from 5 offensive rebounds. Angel Ree ripped the ball out of the sky and reset the clock after 5 daggers to the heart of a defense that had worked so hard to cause a missed shot. The Puerto Rican defenders repeatedly neglected to put a body on Ree because they were continuously glancing over their shoulders at Clark on the perimeter. She had total control over the internal physical conflict. A basketball team operates in this manner. The other players take over the area when one player draws the fire. Let's now deal with the big issue. Critics would argue that Caitlin Clark had a poor performance based on her 2 assists and 8 points on 2 of 6 shots. She was frozen out of the offense, they will say. This is a basic misconception about basketball strategy. The defense was basically defying Team USA to beat them with anyone else, so Clark didn't need to shoot the ball 20 times. Team USA gladly complied. But she immediately made the defense pay when they even slightly eased their intense fixation on her.
All day. Now, this is World Cup basketball. Caitlin Clark, logo 3. Boom. Caitlin Clark on the ground. I mean, they showing all the...
This is what occurs when a zone defense momentarily nods off. A step inside the logo, Clark catches the ball. The defender is worn out from chasing her around screens all night, so they are laid on the closeout. The release happens quite quickly. Boom. The score is 3 points. These moments are unavoidable because to the gravity she commands. Against a shooter of this caliber, you can't play flawless, smothering defense for 40 minutes. When the dam finally cracks, she demonstrates that she is more than just a stationary weapon. She demonstrated the aggressive downhill attacking mindset that makes her practically unguardable on the open court as the transition game began.
And goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity.
I mean, they're showing major love. And what's crazy is that fans cheered.
Take a look at this series. As soon as she sees the floor and secures the ball, she accelerates. From coast to coast. She refuses to accept a pull-up jumper. She seals the one chance, finishes through the foul, and absorbs the contact. This is Caitlin Clark's duality. She'll punish you from 30 feet away. Additionally, she will blow past you and finish at the rim if you push her too high. However, her plus-minus is the most accurate indicator of her performance and the one statistic that completely disproves the idea that she had a poor game. Team USA outscored Puerto Rico by 18 points during Caitlin Clark's 18 minutes on the court. Plus 18. Do you know what that means in terms of basketball? Context? This indicates that while she was between the lines, her team was a totally dominant, unstoppable force of nature, even though she only took 6 shots and recorded 2 official assists. The entire 91-48 blowout was controlled by her mobility off the puck, her quick ball reversals that resulted in hockey assists, and her sheer gravitational force. Isolation is not a feature of basketball. It is a network system. Because the offensive load is shared and the spacing is maximized, Chelsea Gray can start the game with just 1 point and Ryan Howard can have trouble with her shooting, but the team still wins by 43 points. In this match, Caitlin Clark played the ultimate decoy. In order to give her comrades total freedom, she took on the defensive strain of a whole country. It is an insult to the sports intelligence to describe that as a poor performance or as sabotage. This is the appearance of elite high IQ basketball. It involves comprehending the defensive coverage and taking advantage of the weaknesses. You don't force a poor shot if a team wants to put 2 defenders on you at the half-court line. The ball is moved by you. You watch as your all-star teammates destroy the opposition 4-on-3 because you have faith in them. The offensive execution of Team USA was outstanding. They demonstrate that they are more than a group of individual superstars, but a cohesive team that can read the game and adjust to the opponent's frantic tactics. Caitlin Clark was the focal point of that tactical change, attracting every defender's attention and creating space for a historic blowout. The rest of the world should be terrified if this is what she can do to a defense without even having a high-scoring night. We appreciate you watching this in-depth look at the true X's and O's of Team USA basketball. Clickbait is not what we do here. Analysis is what we do. Please hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and let me know in the comments below which player you believe benefited the most from the defensive spacing in this video if you enjoy real basketball breakdowns that look beyond the box score.